friends. I'm Karen, and this is the Family Food for Moms podcast. We're talking about inspiration for family cooking and dining. Today, I thought it might be fun to talk about some US presidents and their favorite meals, with Thanksgiving coming up next week, and in honor of the elections. Next week, I'll talk about some common and then some unusual Thanksgiving traditions for some ideas. But for now, let's talk about some of our recent presidents and what they like to eat, and then some from quite long ago and what they enjoyed. I find it really fascinating seeing what someone will eat when they have a chef and kind of whatever they want at their disposal. I think the first ladies would have had a lot to do with planning menus and even encouraging their husbands to eat healthier things. So some of the things I'll mention are when the presidents are just on their own and they eat whatever they feel like. And then other things would be more what they would eat if there's a White House dinner or a small dinner party or simply eating with their wives, but something cooked by the chef. So let's start with Donald Trump. So Donald Trump definitely enjoys typical American fast food, hamburgers, fried chicken. He's apparently a big fan of Diet Coke and drinks a lot of that. And then he does eat some healthier things when his wife's involved, especially, I'm sure. He likes to skip breakfast, but when he does have a breakfast, sometimes he enjoys bacon and eggs with the hash browns or biscuits. And his favorite salad is Cobb salad, which he will have with ranch dressing and some cheese, egg and bacon on it. That would be boiled eggs, chopped bacon, those kind of things to make it more appetizing. He does love French fries, which goes along with the American fast food that he likes to eat. And he enjoys meatloaf. And then this one's surprising. He likes pizza, but he only eats the toppings. So he'll scrape it all off the top and leave behind the crust. He enjoys taco bowls and then well-done steak with ketchup. Apparently the steak must be cooked enough so that it cools up slightly on the plate. And then he'll add some good ketchup on top. Then for desserts, he especially loves cherry vanilla ice cream and chocolate cake, don't we all? President Joe Biden. President Biden's must-haves in the kitchen apparently are peanut butter, jelly, and ketchup, which he'll use in various ways, but these have always got to be in stock. For lunch, he'll often eat soup and a chopped salad with something like grilled chicken on top. And then for dinner, he likes angel hair or thin pasta with a red sauce. He loves to drink orange Gatorade, and he enjoys vanilla chocolate chip Häagen-Dazs ice cream. So he likes very simple meals, and he likes his kitchen stocked with sliced bread for sandwiches, with cheese or tomato, and a little bit of fruit on the side. Then President Obama. For breakfast, President Obama enjoys scrambled eggs with some whole wheat toast and a side of green tea. Very healthy. He enjoys protein bars for snacks. And then for lunch, a chicken salad. Dinner will be something like chili con carne with a side of broccoli. And he always brewed his own honey ale. The chili was something that he made himself and he'd always enjoyed, and it was a comfort food for him. He was also known for having 7 almonds for his dessert. Then Jimmy Carter. He was a dairy man. He loved cheese, he loved milk. In fact, he often had a glass of buttermilk with his dinner, just drank it. Amazing. He loved to add cheese to his breakfast grits, and he loved to try all kinds of cheese. One of his favorite appetizers was a cheese ball or ring with many layers and then nuts and strawberry preserves on the outside. He loved to have cheese and crackers for a snack. Then he was a peanut farmer, so he did love peanuts as a snack, and I've read that he loved to eat deep fried peanuts as a snack. The Carters loved to enjoy beans and rice and barbecue ribs. He also enjoyed a ham roast with, I think it's called a red-eye gravy, which is the drippings from the ham with coffee added. Very unusual combination. He also enjoyed fried chicken with potato salad and then peach ice cream. President Ronald Reagan. Reagan enjoyed a very simple breakfast of cereal and toast with orange juice. And of course, his favorite snack was jelly beans. He loved them and had them many times during the day, especially the black licorice flavor. For snacks, he also enjoyed odd things like cantaloupe or sweet melon with cottage cheese in the hole, filled with cottage cheese. Very unusual. He would have lunch of some kind of soup, lentil soup with a hunk of bread. And for dinner, something like a chicken or fish chicken piccata with some steamed vegetables. And he loved dessert, so he'd finish off dinner with something like a chocolate mousse cake. He also loved grilled hamburgers and mac and cheese. He loved pumpkin and pecan pie and monkey bread. Let's skip back in time to George Washington. One of his favorite things was hoe cakes, which are like pancakes but made from corn. And they were made in a specific type of pan, which is why they're called hoe cakes. He loved them at breakfast with butter and honey and tea. Some other things he really enjoyed: fish, grilled with some potatoes. He was a big fan of that. He sometimes even had fish for breakfast. Then trifle, like the English trifle. A little bit different to what we know today. Trifles back then wouldn't have had lady finger biscuits in them, but just cake that was layered and soaked. And perhaps everything was made more from scratch, the custard, and if there was jelly. He loved meat like lamb and mutton, and they would have been able to hunt those things fresh more easily than today. There was cherry pie, pickles, and sweet potatoes. Then Abraham Lincoln. He was actually known to cook himself or to help his wife to cook. He enjoyed simple food like corned beef with cabbage, venison, apples. He definitely liked an apple pie. And he apparently really liked oysters. He enjoyed gingerbread men cookies, bacon. The bacon, of course, would have been different back then. The pork would have been cut and rubbed with salt before being cured and smoked. He loved blackberry pie, almond cake, interestingly, and coffee. Then, just for fun, some favorite foods of first ladies. We have Betty Ford, who loved waffles. For breakfast, she would have waffles with maple syrup, strawberries, and orange juice. Pat Nixon loved meatloaf. Her version was made with ground beef, white bread, and a little marjoram, and they used to serve it about once a month in the White House. Jackie Kennedy's favorite was poached salmon, French style. One of her favorite presidential menus for dinner parties was poached salmon, then lamb with haricot beans, and then some sort of ice cream dessert. Mamie Eisenhower was well known for using leftovers from her kitchen. She was very good at putting them together to make a new delicious meal. She said she could squeeze $1 until the eagle screamed. Bess Truman was well known for her Ozark pudding, which is like a macaroon-inspired pecan pie. She made hers with apples, but you can use pears. It's amazing to see these women living in the White House in war times or in difficult times during the Depression and the ways that they saved money. Eleanor Roosevelt enjoyed scrambled eggs. She was very down to earth, and she would come up with all kinds of meals that were good during the Great Depression. She was from an upper class family and she couldn't cook. When she entered the White House, she got the help of some home economists and planned menus that were cheap and nutritious, and eggs were often used. Things like potato. For one meal, she paired deviled eggs with tomato sauce, mashed potatoes, wheat bread, and coffee. This was one of what they called her 7.5-cent menus. Spaghetti with boiled carrots. The Roosevelt's cook served noodles with little scraps of meat or chicken or veggies, and then adding cooked carrots on top. Something as simple as bread and butter was sometimes eaten, and then sweetbreads and other organ meats were cooked to save on money. And then what we would today probably call a gelatine salad, a molded jelly using real gelatin with things inside. Sometimes it would be meat and sometimes it would be fruits or vegetables, as an interesting way to stretch them, but also good for health, all that gelatin. So the first ladies of the past often had to economize in ways that the modern ones don't. But it's interesting that they ate so much healthier in those days compared to what the presidents eat today. Lastly, I want to mention Thomas Jefferson. So Thomas Jefferson loved mac and cheese. He discovered it while he was in France working as a diplomat, and then he helped to popularize it in the United States. But it was always one of his favorite meals. His mac and cheese he loved so much when he lived in France that when he was back in the USA, he ordered the ingredients for his mac and cheese to be delivered all the way from France right to his house. That was at Monticello. Apparently, snacks had to be banned from Congress meetings because Thomas Jefferson always brought mac and cheese, and everyone hated it except him. Also, once he was at a dinner party and he shocked his guests by taking out a tomato and biting it. They still thought those were poisonous, but he'd been to France and he knew they were safe to eat. Sounds like an amusing fellow. Also, he loved ice cream and French fries, and he brought those ideas back to the United States with him and helped those to become popular. A couple of other quick mentions of presidents' favorite foods. Theodore Roosevelt, steak and gravy. Then Warren Harding, chicken pot pie, his comfort food. Calvin Coolidge, apple pie. John F. Kennedy, clam chowder, which is not surprising, seeing as he was from New England. And Gerald Ford, pot roast was his favorite. So if any of these dishes sound yummy to you, you can Google a president's particular recipe to see how they liked it. And you can add it to your Thanksgiving menu or your Christmas menu for fun. Some of them are quite unusual and things we don't really eat these days, and then others are just good versions of what we do eat these days. So let me know if you decide to cook any of them. I'd love to see a photo perhaps. I'm going to try the hoe cakes. And I'm thinking of doing a weekly or monthly president's dinner where we choose one of the presidents and then have a 3-course meal, which is some of their favorite foods, while we learn about that particular president. I think that might be fun. Thanks for listening. See you next time.